X-Men Encyclopedia, D section. D. Alexis Amber. Amber D. Alexis was the lover of both Jake Fury, the original Scorpio, and his brother, Nick Fury. After Jake's suicide, Amber trained her son, Mikkel, to kill Nick Fury as she blamed Nick for Jake's death. Wolverine had to kill Amber when she attempted to shoot Mikkel and Nick, see Fury Nick. Deacon. When Deacon's older sister Deathbird was denied her birthright to the throne of the Shi'ar Empire, Deacon became the emperor. Deacon was insane and tried to use the power of the M'Kron crystal to his own ends. Knowing that the power of the crystal, once unleashed, would destroy the whole universe, Deacon's younger sister Lilandra decided to stop him. The X-Men aided her and managed to save the universe from destruction. Lilandra became Magistrix, ruling the Shi'ar Empire in Deacon's place. Daikomo. Daikomo was a Yakuza drug lord who created a highly addictive drug called Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt gave superhuman strength and euphoria to the user, followed by death. Thunderbolt charged assassins nearly killed Wolverine, but he survived to hunt down Daikomo. When Wolverine found him, Daikomo had already been slain by the rogue assassin, Reiko. Daredevil. Daredevil is actually a blind lawyer named Matt Murdock. Daredevil was trained in combat by a mysterious man called Stick. Daredevil's enhanced senses rival those of Wolverine. Wolverine and Daredevil first met on the trail of Lord Darkwind, see Lord Darkwind, whose adamantium bonding process gave Daredevil's foe Bullseye an adamantium spine. From the beginning, Daredevil was uneasy with Wolverine's ferocity and willingness to kill in battle. When the two faced the mutant-killing mercenary Bushwhacker, see Bushwhacker, Daredevil twice stopped Wolverine from killing their foe. Darkhawk. Chris Powell is a high school student whose mysterious amulet transforms him into Darkhawk. Darkhawk's armor is bulletproof and enhances his strength, allowing him to fly and fire energy blast. Darkhawk and Wolverine fought together in secret against the forces of Macabre. Darkstar. Lania Petronova and her twin brother, Nikolai Krylenko, both served in the USSR as Soviet super soldiers. See Vanguard. A former member of the Champions of Los Angeles, Darkstar can manipulate extra-dimensional energy called the Dark Force in order to fly. She can also teleport and create objects of solid Dark Force energy. Though she and the Soviet super soldiers have occasionally been manipulated to fight against Wolverine and the X-Men, their common bond as mutants has more often made them allies. Dark Riders. The original Dark Riders were Inhumans gathered by Apocalypse to aid him in his quest for a world in which only the strong survive. Wolverine has fought several variations of Dark Riders under the leadership of Apocalypse, Strife, and finally Genesis. After Genesis' machinations left Wolverine in a feral state, Wolverine killed many of the Dark Riders. Dazzler. Alison Blair, taking the stage name Dazzler, used her mutant powers to create a fantastic light show to accompany her music. Dazzler and Wolverine first met when the X-Men rescued her from the agents of the Hellfire Club, see Hellfire Club. Eventually, Dazzler became an X-Men and fought alongside Wolverine and the rest of the team. Dazzler left the team along with Longshot to help him fight tyranny in his native dimension, the Mojoverse, see Mojo. Deathbird. Deathbird was the firstborn of the ruling family of the Shi'ar Empire. Unlike many Shi'ar, Deathbird is an evolutionary throwback, retaining many avian qualities, including functional wings. Because she was exiled as a criminal, Deathbird's place on the throne went to her brother, Deacon, see Deacon. On Earth, Deathbird allied with the Brood, and she would go on to fight against Wolverine and the X-Men, see the Brood. After Lilandra took Deacon's place as the ruler of the Shi'ar, Deathbird formed an alliance with an alien Badoon and Brood, usurping control of the Shi'ar. The Cadre, a group of Skrulls who used technology to mimic superhuman powers as well as their forms, took control of Professor Xavier and Lilandra. With the Cadre's help, Lilandra took the throne from Deathbird so that the Cadre could control the Shi'ar Empire. But with the help of Wolverine and the X-Men, Deathbird would defeat the Cadre. Deathbird left the Shi'ar Empire to Lilandra. apparently happy to abdicate the throne she had fought so hard to obtain. Deathlock. A cyborg known as Deathlock encountered Wolverine when they battled a duplicate robot of Doctor Doom called Mecha Doom. Deathwatch. Deathwatch is a crime lord whose underling, Langley, attempted to manipulate Ghost Rider into slaying Wolverine and Brass. See Brass. Deathwatch also tried to manipulate Ghost Rider, but ultimately failed. Deathwatch escaped from Wolverine and his allies in an explosion of his design. Deadpool. Deadpool is a mercenary and former member of the Weapon X project who has clashed with Wolverine after he attacked Kane and Copycat. See Weapon X. See Kane and Copycat. Copycat had been Deadpool's girlfriend, but she left him for Kane. See Weapon X 2. Outnumbered, Deadpool would escape, but months later, Wolverine and Maverick rescued him from the information brokers and Slayback. They were experimenting with Deadpool's mutant healing factor as a cure for the legacy virus. Department H. The Canadian Prime Minister worked with James MacDonald Hudson to create Department H, a secret research and development division of the Ministry of Defense. Department H resources were used to rehabilitate Logan after his skeleton had been laced with adamantium. Department H also founded the creation of Alpha Flight. See Alpha Flight. When Wolverine left Canada to become an X-Men, Department H once sent Weapon Alpha, who later became Guardian, and then all of Alpha Flight to retrieve Wolverine. Recently, Department H was closed down when funding was cut off, leaving Alpha Flight to work independently from the government. Jarmmacht. Before Nightcrawler joined the X-Men, he was a member of a German traveling circus, Jarmmacht. Years later, when Nightcrawler returned to Germany, his friends claimed to be having trouble with monsters who roamed the area. Together, Wolverine and Nightcrawler learned there was a clan of monsters, the Nuri, living in disguise amongst the villagers. Their Jarmmacht had themselves genetically altered so that they could destroy the monsters. But because the Nuri were pacifists, Nightcrawler and Wolverine fought to defend them from their Jarmmacht. In the end, the Nuri allowed themselves to be slain so that they would no longer have to live amongst people who feared and hated them. Destiny. Though blind, Irene Adler could psionically see the future. Destiny was Mystique's closest friend and helped her create the second Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. When the Brotherhood gained the sanction of the United States government and became the Freedom Force, Destiny remained a member. See Freedom Force. Though Destiny was later murdered by Professor Charles Xavier's son, Legion, she used her powers to save the life of Forge from Legion. See Forge. Diamond Lil. Lillian Crawley is virtually impervious to harm with her diamond-like skin. As a Gamma Flight trainee, Diamond Lil was trained by Canada's Department H. Lil became a member of Omega Flight and fought against Alpha Flight in a battle that apparently left James MacDonald Hudson dead. See Guardian 1. Diamond Lil later reformed and became a member of Alpha Flight. Dirtnap. Dirtnap has the power to absorb other living beings and take their forms. Dirtnap tried to absorb Wolverine, but could not metabolize him because of his mutant healing factor. Dirtnap fled from Wolverine by taking the form of a rat. Dirtnap is the only Dark Rider to survive Wolverine's feral regression at the hands of Genesis. See Dark Riders. See Genesis. Doc Samson. Dr. Leonard Samson was transformed by a gamma radiation into a super strong, invulnerable, green-haired psychiatrist. Doc Samson has little desire to be a superhero and has primarily used his super strength in his efforts to cure the Hawk. See Hawk. However, Doc Samson has worked with Wolverine to stop an alien invasion from entering Earth through a teleportation gateway. Samson serves as the psychiatric counsel to the government-sanctioned mutant team X-Factor. See X-Factor. Domino. Domino is a mutant whose powers causes things to fall into place for her, presumably through some psionic manipulation of probability fields. Domino worked as a mercenary for many years and is an expert in sharpshooting and hand-to-hand combat. As a member of X-Force, Domino has fought beside Wolverine many times. See X-Force. Dracula. Wolverine and the X-Men have fought the legendary Count Dracula when he took Storm as his consort against her will. However, Storm's transformation into a vampire could not be completed as she refused to take human life. Rejected, Dracula relinquished his hold on Storm. Later, Dracula made Rachel Van Helsing the descendant of his ancient enemy, Abraham Van Helsing, his consort. Dracula then abducted Storm, hoping her skills as a thief would help and allow her to steal and destroy the Darkhold, which was a mystical book containing spells that kill vampires. The X-Men defeated Dracula, but Rachel Van Helsing was still a vampire. At her request, Wolverine killed her with a wooden stake. Dracula was destroyed by Doctor Strange using the Darkhold. Dr. Doom, ruler of the small Balkan nation of Latveria. Dr. Victor Von Doom has proved relentless in his quest to rule the world. Doom's quest for power has brought him into conflict with Earth's heroes, including Wolverine and the X-Men. Several times, Dr. Doom has allied himself with Earth's heroes against common enemies, but he has ultimately done this to serve his own agenda. Doom was apparently killed in a battle with Onslaught, see Onslaught, forced against his will to sacrifice his life. The sacrifice helped save the world he always longed to rule. Dr. Neutron. When Wolverine and Havoc vacation together in Mexico, see Wolverine and Havoc, Dr. Neutron's minions attack them. Neutron's plan was to manipulate Havoc into supercharging General Meltdown to his fullest potential, see General Meltdown. Dr. Neutron failed, but he, unlike his allies General Meltdown and Scarlet Mackenzie, survived. Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange is the supreme sorcerer of Earth's dimension and its protector against all mystical threats. Doctor Strange has aided Wolverine and the X-Men against a variety of supernatural dangers. Once, Wolverine nearly killed Doctor Strange while being possessed by the other dimensional Undying Ones. See Undying Ones. Wolverine and Archangel followed Gomer the Ancient and Doctor Strange on their quest to save Psylocke. Doctor Strange also recruited Wolverine as a secret defender to help defeat Dreadlocks and Macabre. End of the D section.